Hey, everybody, welcome into another episode of the Deployment Dudes, where it's just guys being dudes talking all things deployment. I am your host, Scott Hutter, joined by my esteemed colleague and host, Phil Fannin. Phil, how we doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Excited about today's episode. We're going to talk about something that is near and dear to our heart that I've been focusing on and selling since the beginning of my career. I think you have as well. It is dispatch or dispatch services. So, to start, why should somebody listen to today's episode about dispatch?
Can I first comment on your hair?
Yeah.
Your haircut. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Looks nice.
I was trying to be like you, trying to keep up with you.
Oh, you got a long way to go.
I'm aware.
Yeah, dispatch. I totally agree. You and I are very passionate about it. Been offering dispatch services. A lot of times people call it break fix services as well. And that term's been around for a long, long time. But yeah, I think talking about what dispatch is, what it's designed to do, why it's priced the way that it is, how it's offered, how addictive, if that's a healthy way of describing it, it becomes, and just what it is in general. So, dispatch in our world is when things in the field can't be resolved remotely. Knock services calling in. You've got either it could be a restaurant, it could be a retailer, it could be just a regular enterprise location or whatever. They don't necessarily have the skills on site to be able to walk through and troubleshoot problems or whatever. It could be cabling, could be point of sale, could be an access point, it could be a variety of different things. So where dispatch really comes in handy is to, at a moment's notice, be able to put a request in to an organization like us that says, hey, I have this problem in this particular location, Boise, Idaho, could be Tallahassee, Florida, could be anywhere, right? And we're not able to fix this problem remotely. We need skills to go on site and troubleshoot, work with us, get this item or problem resolved, and then leave, right? How do you describe
Yeah,
it?
I'd call it, it starts with an issue at an end user location. A lot of what you and I do is restaurant and retail. So, problem with the point of sale, cabling, a printer, you name a piece of technology, right? There's an issue, it goes through that tier one troubleshooting, can't be resolved remotely. Then you're not going to have your manager who's running operations at that store go try to troubleshoot a router. So then you're dispatching on demand smart hands to go on site and troubleshoot or remediate to get that device back online.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and dispatch it's incredibly difficult to pull that off as consistently as we do. And then I would say you couple the complexity of dispatch as it's designed anyway on, and then layer in now trying to do that globally. Different countries, different villages, depending on where you are in that country, labor laws, time zones, cultures,
Different environments.
totally different environments.
Different technologies, different issues popping up, different support. Because
Right.
a lot of times when the smart hands technician gets there, they might have remote support. In some cases, they may not. So very unpredictable, almost just random event. You never know when something's going to break, right? But the consequence of it can be drastic, right? If you have a point of sale down at a restaurant, you can't process credit cards. A lot of customers don't have cash, they'll walk. So you're losing a lot of money by the minute. It's a very high stakes circumstances.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because that sort of plays into some of the challenges that I have seen with a variety of different customers talking about the expense of dispatch. And I'd like to talk about that and address it head on. That dispatch is not the way it's designed for us, and the way we've built out our pricing models is not a situation of trying to take advantage of a situation, right? We don't look at it through the lens of customer sends us this request. We know they're vulnerable. We're going to take advantage of jacking the price up, right? I would say, I don't know that I can't say that. I was going to say that maybe our competitors do that. I doubt it. I doubt it.
Some probably do.
But there is methods to the madness in terms of the way we have this design. So we're set up with a minimum, right? We have a 2 hour on site. We have a 1 hour of travel fee. And the purpose behind that for our listeners to try to understand why this is designed the way that it is because when you're calling into Kinettix and you're asking to have a technician to go on site and to fix whatever said problem we're talking about, you're going to want that to be a positive outcome. And you're going to want it to be consistent. You're going to want to know that it's reliable. Think back to when online ordering was starting to just get somewhat popular, right? Well, a lot of trepidation from folks about, well, do I want my credit card sitting out there? Is it secure? If I don't like the product, how do I return it? Right? Because we weren't used to having those luxuries back then. Fast forward to today, all of a sudden now, Amazon's on your doorstep, every other day or every day, like it is at my house?
Yeah.
And many others.
My wife has it every day.
Of course. Yeah.
I sneak a few packages into in her defense.
And so that's addressing the addiction. But and maybe I'm not using Amazon as the example of why it's priced the way that it is because, they're obviously very price competitive and they've got this figured out. But at least though in our world, it's consistent.
Yeah.
Amazon has proven time and time and time again that they've got the product. It's very easy to order. You can get it. It's accurate. It shows up. You're notified that it's there. Like all of the things that Amazon does that makes them successful and makes that an addictive, repeatable situation is how I would describe Kinettix dispatch services. It's very easy to order it. It's very easy to realize that the communication from the time you've submitted your request dispatch to when we've got the technician identified, scheduled, submit information about who the technician is, name, phone number, email address, those kinds of things. And then the constant communication of they're there, they've checked in, they know what they're doing, they've dialed into us. We're working with them to troubleshoot the problem. If it's something beyond what we're capable of doing and we need technicians' help, customers' help desk support, we bridge those together. We're administrating all of that. And that outcome in the end is a very positive, in most cases, it is a very, very positive situation for customers. And that's why it becomes addictive, is because when you start to do that over and over again, and it comes out of nowhere, you don't have time to prepare for it. You don't have a project manager involved, There's just so many balls that have to be juggled at one time in order to make that experience good. That's where the addictive part comes into play.
Well, going back to your Amazon analogy, a lot of people use it. I will, like, instead of, do I want to go to the store? It's like, well, I need this. Do I really need this today? Or, I can have it tomorrow. I just click a button.
Right.
I don't have to worry about it. It's the same thing. You got these IT help desks that are responsible for hundreds or thousands of geographically dispersed locations, right? There's just tickets coming in. They're troubleshooting remotely. And then whenever they can't fix something, they need to get somebody out there. With our fully managed outcome, you can just click a button and then the rest of it's managed for you and you're just getting updated. You don't have to go find the person, you don't have to vet them. It's just, it happened, it's fully managed for you and you're just getting updated all on the way.
Click a button.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
You're right. Let's go down the path of the economics of why it's priced the way that it is. So in order for a customer to want to know that when you're submitting the dispatch request and you're needing that to be consistent and have quality and all the communication and all the things that go along with that, that costs something, right? So there is an economics component to this whole program that hopefully balances between still making it economically feasible for the customer to do these dispatches, but also making it healthy enough financially for the technicians in the field to drop what they're doing, go service this, and be done.
Yeah, well, I think the opportunity cost if you don't fix it is that you could have a site not operational, point of sale down, and you're losing a significant amount of
Right.
money by not being able to service your customers, right? So, actually, a really good example of this, I was driving home last week. It was like 95 degrees out, and I see a billboard for an HVAC company, and it said same day response, right? And I have a friend who's used that before, and they're like, "Man, you pay so much to get that same day response." And I'm thinking back to what we do. I mean, these HVAC technicians, they're not
Mm-hmm.
just sitting there waiting for
Right.
something to break, right? They've filled their schedule out. So when you're trying to get a qualified technician, the good ones, they've booked out their day with work. And then also the project coordinators that are managing it from the onset and identifying that technician, they're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs either. They're working on other tickets, right? So when something is urgent, you need enough budget to get people to prioritize it.
Fantastic example. First of all, going back to the economics of the way it's designed for us, it's not a monthly retainer fee, right? It's a pay as you drink service. So customers that sign up for it, if you're not using it, you're not paying for it.
It's not maintenance, no
It's not
retainer. Yep.
maintenance. It's not maintenance. It's sitting there idle, but it is live anytime you need it. I have a situation now. I need I need a technician on site. Is this going to, through the eyes of the customer, is this going to be somewhat expensive? Yeah, maybe. Depends. Where is it? How fast do you need us there? What skill set are we talking about? Right? Okay, it's Phoenix, Arizona. I have a Cisco router down completely. Or maybe let's make it a switch. Router can be down. You can still, function locally. So let's say it's a switch. Users down. What are the opportunity costs you were talking about earlier of that situation? So, okay, I need a fairly high skilled engineer that knows switching, layer 2, layer 3, knows Cisco, and can get there as soon as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a 4-hour response time. Is that pricey? Yes, it is. However, to your point about opportunity costs, is it really expensive? So let's say we were able to get the technician there inside the 4-hour request time. Maybe they get there in 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. They can knock this thing out. They're working with the help desk. They can fix a VLAN. They can fix whatever it is that was the challenge or the problem that they couldn't do remotely. The technician got in, checked with everybody, got the switch back up and running and out in 2 hours. Okay, so now you've hit your 2-hour on site, 1 hour minimum. Let's say that's $1,000. What was the downtime costs of that inside that 2 hours?
Yeah.
And how much would it have cost them had you not been able to respond that quickly and rectify the problem?
Yeah. I think you hit on a really beautiful component to this, if you could call
Of course I
something in
did.
field services beautiful. But the way I explain it to our partners is it's an insurance policy that costs you nothing until you use it, right? You're not paying a retainer. You're not paying a maintenance contract. It's literally just there if you need it. So, like, think about if you had that for your house, like, hey, we're going to have all these people on standby for support for your HVAC system, your water heater, all that. If it breaks, you can click a button and somebody will come out same day and fix it. And you also don't have to pay anything monthly for this or any maintenance on it.
So let me ask you this question. Your customers love the service, the program, especially when you get a chance to introduce them to it. What is it that you think they love most about that program?
The responsiveness, our project coordinators. I have one in particular is my it's my first client that I brought on here. It was for dispatch or break fix.
I
And
remember that. I helped with
yeah,
that.
yeah, you did. And they submitted a request, and sure enough, within like might not even have been a minute, it's like 30 seconds, my boy Cecilio jumps on it, says received, and next thing you know, text scheduled. They're on site. They fixed the problem. Um, that team is just so responsive and reliable. Like my clients are never asking, where's this technician? What's the status on this? Where are my deliverables after it? What happened on site? That team is just so thorough in their updates and responsive. But that one's particularly funny to me because the first request they sent to Cecilio. So even though they've submitted hundreds of tickets since then, they still address every single ticket to Cecilio.
That's funny. Just like your Amazon order goes to Jeff Bezos
That's right.
specifically.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's the simplicity of it. It's always being in the know and just how responsive people are.
I completely agree. That's what my customers I think would say as well. That just that level of communication. And I'll tell you, I mean, having you and I doing this as long as we've been doing this in the industry, we do get exposed to how other of our competitors do this dispatch break fix program. Sometimes I'm shocked or I'm amazed that when we get accolades from our customers and say, "Man, I just the level of communication from the moment that we submit it to the time that it's done and then the end of day reports and everything else in between does not sound like that's not a common practice amongst our competitors."
No, I more times than, hey, what's going on with this? I've had people tell me, can you tone down the communication? Like I don't need to know every time the technician like
Sneezes.
yeah, sneezes, yeah, takes a step in the restaurant or whatever.
You're right.
But I think that's actually a really good segue into what I think the whole dispatch is evolving into is you're getting all those updates and you're on them for your customers, right?
Yep.
How are they coming in?
How does the dispatch get submitted, you mean?
Yeah, how are the updates coming to you, Phil Fannin?
Oh, from the dispatch email
Yeah,
address.
right. Email,
Yeah, the
right?
distro email.
Right.
Yeah,
So you have your folder for all your clients with the emails. And by the end of the day, there's tens, hundreds of emails, right?
sure.
So the one piece of this that used to be a nice to have, but is now becoming almost mandatory or prerequisite, you have to be able to check this box, is the API integration, right? We already get a lot of email.
Yes.
Things might get lost in your inbox, gets buried. So with the API integration, which we're starting to do more and more, there's no more swivel seating. There's no more, hey, let me check my email.
Right.
Our clients can go into their ITSM platform, like a ServiceNow, Zendesk, Autotask, and the updates are already there. So they're not going to check their Outlook and then taking notes and swiveling them into their system, right?
100%
So it's just another layer of it that just makes it that much more seamless.
efficient.
Yeah.
And dispatch is not easy, and it's not a perfect situation either. So let's just all be honest and look ourselves in the mirror and say every dispatch that we are ever going to send on site is not going to be a flawless situation. It just can't be. You're dealing with humans, you're dealing with life, you're dealing with unknown situations and unexpected. However, what I would argue though is that when it doesn't go right, we're leaning into it and we've got the flexibility. So this almost goes back to our episode about W2 versus 1099 and having that level of flexibility. So having all of those options at your leisure, right? So if something didn't go right in Kansas City, Missouri, with that particular technician for whatever reason, we can respond and we can recover from that. But because of the level of communication that we offer and that we do, is it overkill? It might be. But I think we want to err on the side of over communicating. So that way you've always got referenceability. You can go back and you can look it up and you can see, but you can also kind of squelch the noise if you want to, right? You can set up rules. You can have it going off into a folder, and then you've got it there. You know where all that information is going to reside. You can go back and reference it if you need to. But if you're not communicating to those levels, you can't do that.
Yep.
That's not an option. And so we know that in this business practice of ours and dealing with humans and life and all these different things, we know that oftentimes there's a giant surprise element that can happen. And we're trying to take the surprise element out of the equation. So if we know something is not going to happen like we thought it was going to, technicians said they'd be on site at a certain time, and now we're having to report, okay, they're going to be an hour late because unexpected traffic or a breakdown or a family emergency of some sort. And it happens, right? When you're talking about thousands of dispatches that we are executing on a regular basis, the percentages of something going wrong are pretty high. If you were only doing a few, okay, your percentages, of course, of that surprise element is going to shrink considerably. But the more volume you're doing in this capacity, the more opportunity you invite in of a problem occurring. So that's why we're communicating as often as we are, because we want to be able to know at real time if the surprise element is going to surface. And if it is, we at least have the ability to report on it, communicate on it, and then also share with the client, here's how we're resolving it, or here's how we're going to pivot from this particular scenario. This technician's not going to be able to make it. Well, guess what? It's not the end of the day for us. We're not dead in the water. It's okay, rinse, repeat, new technician now going to show up. John was the first person, not going to make it. Betsy's the next person. She's going to be there in an hour. There's not a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of our competition that's capable of pulling those kinds of scenarios off. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen
Yeah.
that much of it.
I think too, most people, most reasonable people understand there's a human element to it. So they're, when things go sideways or life happens and a technician can't make it, it's just, you got to be proactive and out in front of it and on top of it to pivot to something else. You can't just, oh, this guy didn't show up. What do you want us to do? Go open another ticket in our system and then we'll address it. It's trying to get out in front of it, see those things happening in real time, and then having
Right.
other options to pivot to.
Is there anything else about dispatch that we want to bring up?
Yeah, I had one other thought is, having done this for 10 plus years, I think one key to this is having a team that can truly support this 24/7, 365. Because a lot of the businesses that you're servicing, restaurant, retail, even manufacturing, a lot of them may not have your 8 to 5, 9 to 5 business hours. Or if there is a problem, they want it fixed or you do troubleshooting after hours so it's not disruptive to the business. I might have a manager stay late to troubleshoot it so they're ready to open the next morning. So I think it's extremely hard to do unless you do have that 24/7 model to back and support it.
Absolutely. I've noticed that when we when we bring on employees here, we usually try to hire from folks that are familiar with the industry and this service, because it is, field services is fairly unique. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to do what we do on a regular basis, from project standpoint to staff log to the dispatch stuff. And I've had new employees that have joined us say that our Cebu Philippines service center to them is the key differentiator. It takes so many people to be able to, well, for one, to know how to hand off, right? If you got shift changes happening or whatever, and just back to that whole juggling and having so many balls in the air, plates spinning, or whatever cliche you want to use, it takes an army of people to make that service
Yeah.
an outcome positive.
Yeah, you use the word addicting, right? And just for me, it's always been my favorite service that we offer just because of the chaos. And if you can do it well and get a technician there to fix whatever problem's going on, it gives you the opportunity to put on your cape and save the day, right? So I'll go back to that example with my boy Warren, right? Like think about how crazy this orchestration of events is. You got a retail store in Hendersonville, North Carolina. They have a problem. They call into their service center in Columbus, Ohio. They can't fix it remotely. They call us in Cincinnati, Ohio. We get my boy Warren involved in the Philippines. He sources a technician in Hendersonville, North Carolina that goes on site.
Hendersonville, Tennessee, isn't it? Or
Is there
North
one
Carolina?
in North Carolina?
There may be one in
I think
North
so.
Carolina. Hendersonville, there's a Hendersonville, Tennessee outside of Nashville.
I think
That's
there's
where I
one in
thought
North
you were talking
Carolina
about.
too.
There could be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyways, so Warren gets a technician in Hendersonville, North Carolina. They go to store. They bring the site back online. It's confirmed by Warren, who communicates with the knock. Our tech is also communicating with the knock in Columbus, and everything is back online. But just think about that crazy orchestration to do that one event.
right.
That from just looking at the email thread, it just says, "Hey, we got a problem. Tech's on site. It's fixed." Right?
And so let's carry that on out and slap a price tag to it. So let did that event, was that a next day dispatch? Is that a 2 days or beyond dispatch? Is that a 8 hour or a 4 hour response time that you're using right
That
there?
was a same day stores hard down. Get somebody out
Same
there.
day, stores down. Okay. So all of that occurred. They were on site for how long?
Hour or two.
So they hit the minimum.
Mhm.
2 hours on site, 1 hour of travel. All that happened. All that occurred. Maybe $1,000, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. To me, that's an easy price to pay, especially if I'm in a hard down scenario. And it's back to your HVAC situation too, right? Just knowing that you've got that safety net there, it's not an everyday practice. You're not going to submit super expensive dispatches just for the sake that you can, right? Because it is pricey, but it's there for when you need it.
Yep.
It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And that's what this service brings to the table.
Absolutely.
Well, as always, man, I've enjoyed having this conversation. As you said earlier, dispatch very near and dear to our heart. It's a great opportunity to dip your toe in the water if you're a customer not understanding or not knowing who Kinettix is. It takes a lot of risk out of play. Give us a try. We invite anybody to come and try this service offering of ours. I don't believe you'll be disappointed.
Absolutely.